Welcome back everyone. We're going to take a look at Theory D from chapter 4.2. From part to total. Let's say 307 students at Gauss College come to school by public transport. And they say this is 23% of the total numbers. You can also now calculate how much there is in total. If 23% is this, then what is total? Total is always 100%. You can write it down like this. 23% of total is 307. So 0.23 times total is 307. And then balance method. Divide left and right by 0.23. So total is 307 over 0.23 is 1335. And this gives us a way to go from part to total. And again, you see they give us sort of the same overview as they did with if I want to go from new to old and old to new. Also know the difference again. If you know the total and you want the part, it's just a multiplication. If you know the part and you want the total, then do a division. Okay. And if you know part and total and you want to calculate the multiplication factor, or how much something is, then do part over total, right? We already practiced that as well. It's actually a first grade formula. However, I do see oftentimes that people do this in different ways, and that's okay. We can now do it this way, the way the book explains it, right? But what also would work is working like this. Use a table, for example. If I know that this is 24% and I want 100% because that's the total, I can use cross multiplication from chapter 2. So this times this divided by this, remember from chapter 2 when we're working with similarity, does come back now as well. This times this divided by this. Hey, that also gives me 1279. And the one I think most students actually prefer is doing it like this. Well, if 24% is 307, then 1% is 307 over 24, then 100% is 100 times as much, so this times 100. Hey, I find the same again. The book uses method 1. So if you ever see that popping up somewhere in your elaborations or in a textbook, understand how it works. But if you want to use method 2, or if you want to use method 3 on the test, that's totally fine. Mathematically correct, full points. Okay? It's just that they're not explained. On one day, 147 KLM airplanes took off from Schiphol Airport. This was 14.5% of the total number of airplanes that took off that day. How many airplanes took off from Schiphol Airport that day in total? Okay, so we have this, it's 14.5%. So what I can do is, well, I want to know total, so then I divide this by the multiplication factor. And then I find approximately 363. Again, what you could have done instead, what some people prefer, is first dividing this by 40.5, right? Because then I find what 1% is. And then from that go to 100%. That means doing this thing times 100. That's what I showed on the other slides that will work as well. You'll also find 363. Okay, so whichever you prefer. Due to a rent increase, the Joy family now pay €15.30 more rent per month. They now pay 3.4% more than before. Calculate the old and the new rent amounts. Okay, well, the old rents I must first calculate. Hi. I'm almost done recording the video, okay? Give me 2 minutes. That's okay, thank you. So the old rent is, you can calculate that by dividing this by 3.4. 3.4% is 0.034, so it's €450. Then we know what the old rent was. Well, the new rent I can now calculate by adding that last part up that I had, that €15.30. Okay, and again, a table can maybe make this a bit more understandable of what is happening, right? So cross multiplication here can be used as well. whatever floats your boat, you also get there. Don't forget to calculate the old and the new. Right? And that's it for 4.2, and also for almost all percentage-based calculations. So 4.3 is more about reading graphs and knowing how graphs can deceive you. Also important, but for percentage-based calculation, this is mostly where it ends for this year, actually. Okay? Good luck.